Happy Halloween, everybody. We are in full Joker mode here. We do have our t shirt commemorating one of my favorite covers of the Joker. I mean, just check that out. This is an awesome t shirt, one of my favorites. This week, we did see the release of Batman, The Three Jokers, last and final book, book three, with all the covers that we're going to go over. But something special today, since it is Halloween and all, we do want to stay with the theme. And I did have to bring you guys my Joker mask. Had it for a while. This mask actually came with the comic book, special edition comic book. I know it's kind of freaky, and it's actually something that's actually happens in the book where the Joker gets his own face cut off, and then he has to like strap it back on himself and staple it. One of my favorite costumes to have, but not gonna do this wearing it the whole time because it is kind of a pain to wear. So this week we saw the release of book number 3 of the Three Jokers. Big reveal at the end, kind of really wrapping things up in a way about why and how this is going on with the Three Jokers. Okay, so full spoilers ahead. We did talk about book 1 and book 2 already, but we're gonna get into book 3. Full spoilers. If you have not read it, go read it. But let's go over these covers. Again, each book does come with 5 covers. Okay, and these are pretty much the standard ones, along with some incentive covers that we're going to go over as well. But here's your first. I think this is cover A. I'm not doing this in any particular order, but again, just amazing work. Again, Fabok is just an awesome artist. I'm really, now that this book is over, I'm really excited to know where he's going to go and what he's going to do next. Each book comes with a cover, kind of giving kind of special attention to each important character in the story. This is another book where we're concentrating on the Bat family, similar to Death in the Family, where the Joker is kind of hunting down those around Batman. So each issue has given a cover to the main characters. You got Batman, you have Batgirl, and check out this cover that they put out for the Red Hood, or Jason Todd, also known as Robin. Okay, but check this out. And again, this does something that does come out, or something that does occur in this actual storyline where his helmet just gets smashed in. It's pretty awesome. I think this is a direct kind of reference to two things. I think this is a direct reference to The Killing Joke, as we do see in Arthur right here. He was the failed comedian that eventually goes mad and turns into the Joker. That would also make it a reference to Joaquin Phoenix's recent iteration of the Joker in the film Joker, as this is a direct reference to that kind of failed comedian and that eventual collapse into the Clown Prince of Crime. This is probably the most sinister looking one. And the only thing that kind of this makes me think of is the Arkham video game, where the Joker kind of goes really insane because he's taking this crazy drug and it kind of disfigures his face and everything. Don't think that this is what this is addressing. This is probably something I just haven't read, but just very sinister looking. We do know that the 3 Jokers in this story are the comedian, the criminal, and the clown. And obviously, you know, this is just one of the more grotesque takes of you know what the Joker can look like. Probably my favorite of the standard covers for the 5 is got to be, and I had mentioned this before, that one of them reminded me of the reference of The Killing Joke, but this is a direct reference. This is more of a direct reference. I think one of them from book 1 reminded me of The Killing Joke, but this is really taken straight out of the cover of The Killing Joke, and just really awesome. I love what they're doing with these Jokers. Okay, so going over standard covers, here are our variants, the 1 in 25 and our 1 in 100. Very happy we could acquire these. These were heavily sought. Obviously, they are rare, right, to acquire, a little bit more difficult to acquire, but we did pretty good in acquiring every cover for this run. We acquired every single cover for it. And of course, my black and white sketch is by far my favorites. This is something about these books that that I really like the most. I think when you kind of take away the color, you just get that raw art. I don't know. That's just what I was thinking about it. Getting to the story for here and how this is kind of wrapping up. So still, of course, with the situation that Jason Todd put himself in. Okay, full spoilers. We know that Jason Todd committed murder at the end of book one. Okay, he subdued the Joker, tied him to a chair, and blew his brains out. Okay, but this being all part of the Joker's plan. In book two, we get to see that it's beginning to work with Jason Todd kind of going down this downward spiral. And of course, the intent of the three Jokers is they would like for Jason Todd to take over and become the new Joker. As we're getting into book three, we know that this is a grand scheme that three Jokers have actually tried. So again, what it does, it just kind of tells us that there's one Joker out there, and he's actually trying to make another Joker. And I love how this book still manages. I think the genius of the Joker and the genius of how they write the Joker is how in the end, you're always kind of hoping to get this kind of solid understanding of who he is and what he is. And even in this book, I felt that Johns was kind of leading us along, that we're finally going to get a clear answer. But in the end, it kind of just leaves you with maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And that's always going to be the case with Joker. But to be able to build a compelling narrative around it isn't easy. I would have liked probably more. I mean, it is only 3 issues, so they did have to kind of compress a story into 3 issues. So yeah, I would have liked more time with the 3 Jokers. I would have liked more time with the story of Jason Todd and everything that he's gone through as being Batman's sidekick, and then kind of falling into this rogue-like status. But in the end, of course, Batman and the Bat family are victorious in the sense that they're able to subdue the 3 Jokers. But I think the Joker wins because they provide no answers in the end. All we get is the Joker is just loves toying with Batman. He loves to toy with Batman. He loves to toy with the Bat family. Is he the original Joker? Maybe the original Joker died many years ago, and we're just getting copycats after copycat after copycat. This is really what the book kind of surmises in the end, that the Joker is there. He's always going to be there. Maybe he's always been there, and Batman will never have any answers. They continue to toy with the Wayne legacy. They even go as far as to bringing in Joe Chill, who is the character in this story that was convicted of killing Batman's or Bruce Wayne's parents. And they even try to go in there and try to make him into the next Joker. So again, it really just throws you for just kind of a crazy loop, in the sense that the story is going to drag you along, but in the end, it offers really nothing. And if you really think about it, that is the essence of what the Joker is. You know, it's a lot of flamboyance, it's a lot of show, but in the end, it's just chaos, and that's all it is. And in that sense, the Joker always wins. So in the end, we do get Joker being apprehended. He's going to be heading out to Arkham, but who is he and what is he? We'll never know. Still, the story that they did wrap up in here was a real fast-paced story. I think where kind of it wins is that it's so fast-paced, because it had to be. It's only 3 books. So, you know, as soon as you open the first book, it's just nonstop action. The art is absolutely amazing. It just does not stop. The mystery around it really does keep you going. And in the end, you're kind of like, really? But Joker's always done that. At the end of the Killing Joke of the animated one, it's a joke that he tells Batman, and they just both think it's hilarious. I'll never forget when the Joker tells Batman, when he tells him his story and tells him the story of Arthur Miller in the animated Killing Joke, Joker admits, he says, sometimes I remember it that way, sometimes I remember it another way. Pretty much means that he could just be making it up, or it's a fantasy in his head. If you remember the end of Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, also, he offers a very similar explanation, where he says, well, you really wouldn't get it. It's just a joke in his own mind. Whether or not Arthur Fleck or Arthur Miller, who I believe was the character in the animated version of The Killing Joke, are people that actually exist, is something I don't think we're really supposed to know. I think the only thing we need to understand is that the Joker exists in one form or another. And that was it for not the Killing Joke. Batman and Three Jokers issue 3 wrapped up. We did acquire all covers. A really awesome read. Really happy with it. I am a fan of kind of the shorter stories than your strung out longer stories. I find them to be just more digestible and just easier to read. So this week also, along with Three Jokers, we did see the release of something new, something that I'm really excited to be following, The Last Ronin. If anybody knows about this is really cool. This is kind of more of my time. If you're more of my generation, then you know you are a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And lately, Kevin Eastman and people at IDW have been putting out all, different iterations of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There's even crossover worlds where I think I've seen them cross over with Transformers and Batman. So they're always trying to figure out ways to issue out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for different audiences, different generations, and I even think different levels of like content. And as far as kind of more mature content, this is definitely on the more mature side for a older generation audience. So The Last Ronin is dealing with a pretty dark concept that the Turtles, full spoilers, everything is being spoiled here, so if you have not read this, get out of here and read this book. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are all dead, all but one. Okay, and what's awesome is that the story goes on and does not tell you which turtle this is until the end. What's great though is that the story's not so much about who this turtle is. Who is this Ronin? Is it Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo? Because the story is really about the history of the turtles and how deep their connection were to each other. And of course about the honor about it. There's constant flashbacks and you're seeing it through the perception of one turtle. You can piece together maybe who it is by his attitude overall, but I think what they do really well is he encompasses and he kind of takes in the attitudes and behaviors of all the turtles. He's a little bit of Leonardo, a little bit of Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael. He carries all their weapons since he is the only turtle left over. I mean, it's a really sad story kind of this last remaining turtle who obviously misses his 3 brothers, and he's going on this kind of crazy adventure. It is a revenge story, and he's kind of coping while he is on this mission. There's even scenes where he hears all the turtles come out, right? But he hears them, they're there in spirit, and like the turtles that are dead, kind of help him out by speaking to him. But of course we know that he's only hearing their voices almost. Really it is kind of a dark story, kind of something I've never really seen from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but really awesome. It's a really good book. I really love what they're doing here. Something really new to reintroduce the Ninja Turtles. Where the story's going to go, I'm not really sure. And even though I am spoiling stuff, I don't want to tell you guys who the turtle is. I want y'all to figure that out for yourselves. I had my money on one, but it ended up being another one. This is the standard cover. The book itself is very unique. The book itself is very big, okay? And it's a pretty long first issue, and I believe this is going to be it's not going to be a long run. It's going to be short. But The Last Ronin, this is our standard cover, okay? Kevin Eastman, amazing. Here's a 1 in 25 variant and the 1 in 10, okay? So, a really good read. I really enjoyed it. I was really blown away at the end. I was not expecting that. But definitely, you guys have not picked up you guys did not pick up The Last Ronin along with The Three Jokers this week. Definitely do that. Our last book that we want to go over today. This is something very. I love reading like kind of off the beaten path kind of books. I kind of don't really get into a lot of the mainstream books, but we have here the Department of Truth. Okay, James Tynion, Martin Simmons, are putting together something very unique here. If you guys like horror, okay, I mean, if you guys like horror, if you guys like conspiracy theories and kind of like those wacky kind of stories or those wacky like cult groups and things like that, this is definitely for you. But it is scary. Like it is something that actually is kind of freaky. It goes into like, you know, satanic cults and reptilian people in power who are like reptiles, flat earthers, you know, to the moon landing, to JFK assassination. I mean, it has it all. And it is just a crazy story. The art is something that's very unique as well. It kind of reminds me of an Ashley Wood, if you guys ever followed and anything of Ashley Wood. But the art is very unique, something different than what I'm used to, and I'm really enjoying it. This is book number 1. Book number 2 came out this week, and this is something I'm definitely going to be following. So far, book 1 and 2 are just a compelling narrative, but of course, keep in mind that this is a true horror comic, as it is pretty freaky. Issue 2 ends with kind of this jump scare that I didn't even think can be done in a comic, but it's done pretty well. It's pretty freaky. Very good use of imagery. And that was our comic book cover for this week. So this week we did see the Department of Truth, number 2. Here's number 1 with some awesome variants. That this book caught me by surprise. I missed the variants. Some of those variants are amazing. Of course, we are ending now. This will be our last kind of discussion or response to The Three Jokers. A lot of fun to read. I'm very happy that I was able to collect everything. And the surprise of the week, which really blew me away, never thought I'd be getting into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles again, but The Last Ronin. I really believe this is the standout for this past week and probably for the month. This is a really good book. So if you guys have not picked it up, I highly recommend you do. And that'll be it for our comics. I'll be putting up some other stuff today, but happy Halloween, and I will see you guys next time. Waylon signing off at the Zombie Star.